Hi. I made this video because I have gotten numerous comments from current Jehovah's Witnesses. Of course, they all pretend to be ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. But we can all tell they are not. I also have received a few comments from actual ex-JWs. But apparently not that many people had heard of W.F.Salter's letter to Judge Rutherford. And of course the Jehovah's Witnesses are saying it is fake. And that I myself made it all up. The W.F.Salter letter is 100% legit. In fact, we know it is 100% legit because Judge Rutherford did write a response to W.F.Salter. But instead of sending it to W.F.Salter personally, he published his response in the Watchtower for everyone to see. Also, after W.F.Salter wrote that letter, the congregations got together and presented his case in front of everyone. Then they all voted whether he should be disfellowshipped or not. And he was disfellowshipped, but some brothers and sisters stood up for him. All of this is heavily documented in the Jehovah's Witnesses' own literature. So it's amazing to me that these people keep saying I made it all up. Even my own mother, who is a current Jehovah's Witness, has heard of the W.F.Salter letter. The response to W.F.Salter's letter from Rutherford was called an evil servant. I will put the link to all of these letters in the description. But you can also pause the video if needed. In this article they speak of Judas. It says, quote, "The Bible record discloses that Judas was a type of a class of persons who covenant to serve God and Christ and who become unfaithful, and who are therefore the instruments of the devil. For 20 years or more, W.F.Salter was the trusted representative of God's organization on earth, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, claiming to believe in the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ, and often so stating, and while in the pretended service of the Lord's organization, that man was in a conspiracy to bring about the destruction of the Lord's work, and the death of some of the Lord's servants. His duplicity being discovered, he was, because of his unfaithfulness, relieved of his position and duty in the Lord's organization." The article ends saying, quote, "This is the Watchtower's answer, and the answer of the President of the Society, to his aforementioned publications." End quote. I would say that is pretty solid evidence that the letter is 100% real. But some might not be pleased with that response in the Watchtower. So there are also numerous signed letters both from different brothers and from Judge Rutherford, all regarding W.F.Salter's letter. In one letter from April 38, 1937, written by Rutherford, he states, quote,
"Thank you for yours of the first. In regard the enemy's assault through Salter, it is said there are two causes of insanity, one the disintegration of the brain tissue, and the other the effect of the influence of the wicked spirits. Salter gives every evidence of laboring under this disability. The fact that he resorts to fraud and deceit, and forges the name of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, for the purpose of getting a message before others, shows he is of an unbalanced mind. We are in a real fight against Satan and his forces. Our business is to proclaim the truth, and not to be disturbed by what the enemy does. So encourage and comfort the brethren everywhere you go. Personal assaults upon me are of no material interest. I expect these from the enemy. By the Lord's grace, I will proceed with his work, regardless of the same. I have full confidence that no one of the temple will be disturbed by the acts of the wicked one, but will press on with greater zeal in the proclamation of the kingdom message. You may use this letter wherever you have occasion. With much love and best wishes, I remain your brother and servant by his grace. Signed, J.F. Rutherford."
When the congregation all got together to vote if W.F.Salter should be disfellowshipped or not, G. Cameron, a former company servant and friend of W.F.Salter, raised his voice in favor of the letter, stating, quote,
I know the article in question. I have read it. And read it carefully. It is true that Brother Salter has challenged Brother Rutherford to answer it point by point. And I now challenge you, Brother Chapman, to answer it point by point, and deal with it faithfully. Because I firmly believe that the Church has arrived at the crossroads. Up to this day we have all followed men, blind, leaders of the blind, and all making to the ditch. It cannot be denied that as an organization we have been mistaken in the past many times. And it cannot be denied that we are mistaken now.
After saying that, the brother from the stage just thanked him for showing his true self. And they just carried on. A sister in the rear of the hall, afterwards confirmed to be Salter's former stenographer, asked if she might speak. It was ruled by the chairman, however, that the brothers were capable of dealing with the matter. Apparently women weren't good enough or important enough to speak back then. As I said earlier, they voted yes and disfellowshipped Walter Salter. So if this is still not enough evidence to prove to you that the letter is 100% legit, then please go in the description of this video and follow the link. There you will find everything there is about Walter Salter, including a more recent paragraph about him in the Jehovah's Witnesses, Proclaimers of God's Kingdom, page 628, which says, quote, "Those mentioned above were not the only ones who allowed pride to undermine their faith. Others also did. In Canada, there was W.F.Salter, a branch manager of the Society, who began to disagree with the Society's publications. Let it be known that he expected to be the next president of the Watchtower Society. And after he was dismissed, dishonestly used the Society's letterhead to instruct congregations in Canada and abroad to study material that he had personally written. Wow, how dishonest they are. Walter Salter did not want to be the next president of the Watchtower. And he never asked congregations to study material he had written. The poor man just saw a hypocrite con man Rutherford and stated true facts. Then asked a couple doctrinal questions that no one would answer. But because the Society has to demonize and lie about all people who say anything against them, I guess they will never change. Thank you for watching.